Everyone, I had a few students message me and ask me questions about the homework, so I thought I would record a short little video to solve a problem like this. You are going to have problems that are very similar to this in your homework, and it's kind of difficult to answer and solve for a missing piece if you don't know the steps. Um, I have a question mark as my missing side length here, but you are probably going to have x as the variable. The steps are the same. You're just going to use an x instead of a question mark. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is to decide which side we want to start with. Right here we have two trapezoids, so we have four options. I am going to start with the short side on the top, just because it's the number on top. So I'm going to start with the 12 and the 15. So I am going to make that into a fraction, and then I am going to choose the next side to work with. The next side we're going to work with is already kind of decided for us because we have to choose the side with the variable in it. So in my case, it's a question mark and a 25. And I'm going to make that into the second fraction I work with. So once we get to this step, it should be pretty simple. We worked with proportions earlier in the class today. So I'm going to make my x. And if you have highlighters or color pencils or anything like that, it will come in handy for this step. But if you don't, you can just keep in mind which numbers are paired together or draw circles instead. And that will work just as well. So I'm going to take both of my yellow numbers and pair them together. So I have 12 and then 25. And then I am going to take my blue numbers, so the 15 and the question mark, and pair those together. And then I am going to multiply everything out. So I'm going to do 12 times 25, which is going to give me 300. And just as a side note, I know that I did that pretty quickly, but I did not do that in my head. I have a calculator next to me, and I don't expect you to do all of the math in your head for things like multiplication and division, especially when the numbers are this big. If you want to use a calculator, you are more than welcome to do so. And then I have this equal sign, and then I have the 15 times question mark. Just stays that way. And for our final answer, we are looking for just the question mark length by itself. So we want this question mark to be by itself. And to do that, we have to get rid of this 15. So right now, this 15 is being multiplied to the question mark. And to get rid of the 15, we have to do the opposite. So I am going to divide both sides by 15. So I'm going to divide this right side by 15. But when I do something to the right side, I also have to do it to the left side because they are equal. And whatever I do to the right, I have to do to the left. So once we get to this step, I mentioned during class that I used to be a third grade teacher, and my students never understood when I did that. They always thought that meant that the two numbers become a 0, but we know that's not the case, right? 15 divided by 15 becomes 1. So I got into the habit of drawing this big 1 over my numbers. But you can just cross it out if that's what you're comfortable with. I don't expect to see a 1 there. It's just a reminder. And then on the left side, we are going to do 300 divided by 15. And again, I'm using my calculator to find that it is 20. So our final answer is going to be 20 is equal to the question mark. And I mentioned this in class, but I would highly request that you box your answer or circle your answer or highlight your answer or underline your answer or something, just so I know which part your answer is, especially in problems like this where we have a lot of work that's being shown. So once again, what this means our final answer is question mark is equal to 20. But what that means is this question mark is no longer a question mark. We know how long that is now. So we know this question mark is equal to 20, and that is our answer. So if you have any other questions about the homework, at any point in the semester, you can message me on Schoology, and I will send you a photo with an example or a video like this that really walks through the steps. But I would highly, highly recommend that you come to class on time because I go over way more examples really similar to this one.